Hi, this is University of Bahrain, College of Science, Department of Chemistry. Welcome to Chemy 102 lab. Today, we are going to perform the experimental determination of dissociation constant of a weak acid and concentration of weak acid. Aim of the experiment is to familiar with operation of pH meter and quantitative determination of dissociation constant and concentration of weak acid. For this experiment, we need weak acid and strong base. Today's experiment, I'm going to use here weak acid. This is acetic acid whose concentration is unknown. We need base NaOH whose concentration is 0.2 molar. This is a strong base. This is the titrant because we know the concentration 0.2 molar. pH meter. We need pH meter. This is a digital pH meter. We can get value directly from here. Burette, pipette. This is 50 ml pipette. Magnetic stirrer. This magnetic stirrer is used for uniform mixing. Now, let us move to experimental part. The first step, take the burette, rinse with fill with NaOH. So I have to rinse this burette with NaOH. That is a good habit. While you are using burette and pipette, before taking the solution, wash with water and rinse with the solution which one you are going to fill inside. So I'm going to use now NaOH. For this, NaOH, take around 2-3 ml. Then rinse this burette with NaOH and throw this solution. After that, take the solution again, fill up to 0. Now, I'm going to fill with NaOH. Up to 0. This is 50 ml burette. And see, this solution is a colorless solution. The lower meniscus of this liquid should touch this 0. So, while you are filling this solution in the burette, after filling, you can adjust the volume, keep in your eye level and adjust the volume. The lower meniscus should touch this line. This is the 0, starting from here, 0 to 50 ml. And clamp it on burette stand. Second part, pipette out 50 ml unknown weak acid. So I'm going to take 50 ml unknown weak acid. For this 50 ml pipette, this 50 ml pipette I already washed with water. Now I'm going to rinse with weak acid. Take 2-3 ml of weak acid, then rinse inside. Rinse inside and throw this solution. Then fill with 50 ml. For filling, you have to use pipette bulb for filling the solution. See, I took 50 ml, transferred to 250 ml beaker. Put magnetic stirrer. Keep it on this hot plate. But very important point, here you can see two options. One for heating, other one for stirring. So for stir, only you have to use this experiment because temperature increases, that will affect the pH. So don't use this part, heat part don't use, you have to use the stir part. So you can adjust the speed of this stirring like this, you can adjust, and while you are adding, during titration, you are adding titrant from the burette to this solution, you can start stirring this solution. So I'm going to perform this experiment. But the first part, we are going to find out the pH of this solution. So, first step, you have to check what is the pH before adding NaOH from the burette. Switch on this one. You can see the pH value here. This is a digital pH meter. So, you can observe what is the pH value here. As you all know, pH of a acid is always less than 7. You can see here the pH value will come around 2.95, 3 like that, because this is a weak acid whose pH is less than 7. So this pH meter shows here ready, means this instrument is ready. So we can take the value of this pH and we can note down, because in this experiment we are going to make a titration curve. In that titration curve means we are going to plot a graph. That graph we are plotting pH and volume of the titrant. So the documentation of the pH we are doing, and we need that pH and volume of the titrant for making a graph. From that graph, we can calculate equilibrium constant of the weak acid and its concentration. So let us start. So here the titrant volume is 0. I have to check what is the pH here. You can observe the pH meter is ready. I can see the value 2.83. So this you can note down in your observation table. This is the observation table. So 0, I can write down 0.82. So I can write 2.82. Now I'm going to add 2 ml of this titrant. For this, keep this burette tip to this beaker. The solution should not go out, and add slowly 2 ml of titrant NaOH whose concentration is 0.2 molar from this burette. You can observe here. I'm adding this NaOH 2 ml. See, keep your hand like this. You can check what is the volume. You can see that. So can observe here the pH is changing. Why pH is changing? You are adding base from the burette to this acid. So some amount of acid is getting neutralized because acid contain H plus, base contain OH minus. H plus OH minus combined from water. So you can see some amount of acid is decreasing. Here, because of the decrease in the amount of H plus in the acid, the pH value increases. You can observe here the pH is 3.7 value. I got 3.7. So I have to write 3.7. Now, I'm going to add 2 ml increment of this NaOH. That is, this experiment will continue. The successive addition of 2 ml of NaOH in each time, then we will calculate the pH. Okay. So, next step, I have to add 4 ml. Then I can check what is the pH. And this will be continuing. And you can see, you will reach a point. Suddenly you can observe there is a deflection or sharp shooting of the pH value. That is called equivalence point. Why there is a sudden increase in pH you can observe? So when you are adding NaOH to this acid, neutralization take place. So we will reach a point where the acid which is present in the beaker completely react with the base which is adding from the burette. The next one drop of NaOH make this solution alkaline, basic. So you can see suddenly the pH value will increase. There is a deflection in the pH value you can observe. But you have to continue this experiment till the pH become 12. From this value of pH and volume of the titrate, we can make titration curve. From the titration curve, we can calculate equilibrium constant of the weak acid and concentration. Thank you. Have a nice day.